Hi everybody, this is Karimullah. Today we are going to discuss about female reproductive system, human female reproductive system. Okay, human female reproductive system. Its organs are located in the lower abdominal cavity, that is at the pelvis region. The entire system is located in the pelvis region. The system consists of female gonads known as ovaries, a pair of ovaries. These are connected with the tubular parts which transports the ova known as oviducts. Oviducts also called as fallopian tubes, a pair of fallopian tubes. These fallopian tubes they opens separately into a wide sac-like structure, uterus. Uterus lower portion is called as a cervix. A cervix opens into a muscular tube, that is vagina. Up to here, from ovaries to vagina, all these are of completely internal, inside the abdominal cavity. Externally, these are not visible. Whereas remaining parts, that is called as a vulva. This vulva is considered as external genitalia. Okay, these are about the main important organs of female reproductive system. Along with these organs, in females, mammary glands also functionally linked with female system. Why? Because here in the female reproductive system, in these organs, certain events will be happen like that of production and release of ovum, ovulation, as well as menstruation, as well as fertilization, development of embryo, embryonic development, as well as parturition. All these are for different events occurs in a female reproductive system. At the same time, after parturition, the milk will be produced, that is of lactation. So in female reproductive system, many activities will be conducted, that is about ovulation, menstruation, fertilization, embryonic development. It takes 9 months of the time, known as gestation period. Next, the process of childbirth is called as a parturition. After that, the production and release, ejection of the milk by the mammary glands, known as lactation. First is about ovaries. These are treated as female primary sexual organs. These are one pair in number. Their location is lower abdominal region. At lower abdominal region, on each side of lower abdominal region, one pair of ovaries are present. These ovaries are of almost almond in shape, almond shaped structures. Okay, this is about ovaries. Each ovary having 4 regions. Internally, ovary shows 4 areas. The outermost one is a simple cuboidal epithelium. The simple cuboidal epithelium, this is of outermost region known as germinal epithelium. So the outermost region of the ovary is germinal epithelium. This is made by simple cuboidal epithelium. Just below that one, here is of a connective tissue region. This connective tissue region, this area is called as tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea. This is made by dense connective tissue. Whereas below the tunica albuginea, this inner part, this is a major part of the ovary. This is known as ovarian stroma. In this ovarian stroma, the peripheral or the outer stroma region is called as a cortex. So cortex is the outer stroma of ovary. And the middle or central stroma of the ovary is called as a medulla. So like this, each ovary shows 4 areas. Outermost one is germinal epithelium. Below that, a dense connective tissue region, just below the germinal epithelium, the dense connective tissue area is called as tunica albuginea. After that, here the third one, cortex region, this is the outer stroma of the ovary, and the inner stroma of the ovary is medulla. At this cortex region, we may observe so many number of follicles. Actually, at the time of embryonic development of this baby, these germinal epithelial cells they shows infolding. By the infolding of these germinal epithelial cells at the time of that baby's fetal life, now so at the time so many follicles will be formed. Because of the formation of follicles, here this epithelium is named as germinal epithelium. A couple of millions of follicles will be formed at the time of embryonic development of this baby. Later on, these follicles they come and settle in this cortex area. When this baby is delivered out, later when she attains a sexual maturity, then onwards, I mean from the puberty onwards, among these couples of millions, one ovum will be developed. I mean, one follicle will be gradually developed. So here at the cortex region, we may observe different developing stages of follicles. Different developing stages of follicles. So this completely developed follicle is called as a Graafian follicle. Whereas at the medullary region, we may observe only about the blood vessels, arteries as well as veins. Lymph vessels also can be seen. Along with that, nerve fibers also can be seen. So like this, the ovary shows 4 regions. Next is about oviducts. Suppose this is of uterus region, womb region. This uterus upper border on either side is connected by oviducts or fallopian tubes. In these oviducts, here this portion is straight and narrow lumen portion. Later on, it become wide curved portion. This is of wide curved portion. This wide curved portion it curves towards the inner side. Later on, it expands as a funnel-like structure. It appears as a funnel-like. Now this funnel-like region develops as finger-like structures known as fimbriae. Okay, now this structure is called as oviduct or fallopian tube. In this oviduct, here we may observe the 3 areas. Here the distal area, the free end of this fallopian tube, this is a first area, if funnel-like area, this is infundibulum. And a wide curved portion, this is the longest portion of oviduct known as ampulla. And a narrow part which connects with the uterus, this is the third portion of oviduct known as isthmus. So the 3 regions of oviduct. One is of funnel-like infundibulum, and a wide curved portion, this is of ampulla, and a narrow straight tubular part joins with uterus. This is called as isthmus. In these 3 portions, here this infundibulum, this funnel-like infundibulum, it projected as a finger-like structure. Here ovary is attached to uterine wall as well as also attached to wall of pelvic region. This ovary attached to uterine wall by ligaments, uterine ligaments or ovarian ligaments. Ovary attached to pelvic wall by suspensory ligaments. So like that, ovary is supported by 2 kinds of ligaments. One is of ovarian ligaments, they attach to the uterine wall. Next is of suspensory ligaments, they attach to the pelvic wall. Next, one of the most important organ in the female reproductive system is womb or uterus. Here this uterus is pear-shaped one, inverted pear-shaped structure. This uterus shows 3 major parts. The upper dome-shaped part, this part of the uterus is a fundus. This is the superior part of uterus. In the same way, opposite inferior part of the uterus, this is called as a cervix. Superior is a fundus, inferior is a cervix. In between, the middle portion is of body of uterus. So uterus having 3 parts: fundus, cervix, in between the 2 body. Now the wall of uterus having 3 layers. wall of uterus is made by 3 layers. See the wall of uterus. This wall of the uterus is made by 3 layers. Okay, suppose this is a longitudinal section cutting of uterine region. The outermost layer of uterus is a perimetrium. Basically, this is of a visceral peritoneum. After the perimetrium, the thick muscular portion, this thick muscular portion is called as a myometrium. The word myo means muscles. Here the kind of the muscles are of smooth muscles. Smooth muscles. So uterus wall is made by smooth muscles. And innermost layer is called as endometrium. Now in this term, metra, prefix metra means uterus. Perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. This endometrium furtherly having two thin layers, stratum basalis and stratum functionalis. Stratum basalis is attached to the muscles, whereas stratum functionalis it lines towards the lumen of uterus. In every month the stratum functionalis will be thickened, the cells will be thick, by that it will be grown. The 3 layers, perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. Endometrium has 2 layers, stratum basalis and towards the lumen is stratum functionalis. This stratum functionalis in every month it will be undergo changes, by that the thickness of stratum functionalis increases. If ovum is not fertilized, now this stratum functionalis it get detached, it cut off, and the stratum functionalis layer along with the blood and tissue fluid that will be discharged out. So in every month stratum functionalis it exhibits cyclical changes. Now the new stratum functionalis will be secreted by stratum basalis. Then coming to the lower portion of the uterus region, the lower portion is cervix. The cervix has 2 openings, the external opening towards the vagina, inner opening towards the body. This is the external orifice, this one is internal orifice. In between the 2 orifices, the narrow tubular part is called as a cervical canal. This cervical canal externally it opens into the muscular tube-like structure vagina. The baby, after the embryonic development, the baby will be delivered out through these tubes, cervical canal and vagina. That's why these 2 parts are together considered as birth canal. So birth canal means here the cervical canal as well as vagina. This vagina it opens into vulva portion through a vertical opening, vertical slit, that is called as vaginal orifice. Next is about female external genital organs. Female external genitalia commonly called as vulva or pudendum. This vulva shows the vertical opening. This opening is named as vestibule. This is of vestibule. In this vestibule internally has 2 openings. One is at the anterior side. This is urinary orifice or simply urethral opening. Opening of urethra. Urethral opening. Below that a wide one is vaginal opening. This is the opening of vagina. There are 2 openings. Now this vestibule is surrounded by 2 fleshy layers. The inner thin layers are called as labia minora. Inner 2 layers are called as labia minora. They covers this vestibule. Now this labia minora peripherally covered by a fleshy thick labia majora. So like that the vestibular region is surrounded by 2 muscular fleshy regions, labia minora and labia majora. Where the labia minora meets anteriorly at this portion, one erectile tissue is present. This erectile tissue, this is a highly sensitive tissue named as clitoris. This clitoris is made by corpora cavernosa tissue, the same tissue present in the male copulatory organ. Now above this clitoris region, here this portion where fat is deposited, this portion is called as a mons pubis. Mons pubis. At the mons pubis, here the skin, over the skin hair will be developed. Hair also develops over the labia majora but not over labia minora. Next, one more important layer in the vaginal orifice. Internally, this vaginal orifice is lined by a mucous membrane. That mucous membrane is named as a hymen. This hymen layer, by sexual experience, this hymen layer can be ruptured. Even without sexual experience also, simply by certain sports like that of horseback riding, cycling, long jumping, in such cases also this thin mucous layer hymen can be ruptured. So that's why here the presence or absence of the hymen, this is not a reliable indicator of for virginity or a sexual experience. Even in some women, even they participate in the sexual intercourse, but that hymen layer may not be ruptured. So in whom the hymen layer is thick, even by sexual experience, this layer cannot be ruptured. Okay, this is about external genitalia. Now below this one, here the anal opening will be there. This anal opening is connected to this part by a perineum, a membrane perineum. This is external genitalia in females. Next is about the female accessory glands. Here two kinds of female accessory glands are associated with these external genitalia. Just below the urethral opening, here skin glands are present. On either side of this vestibular part at the lower region, a pair of Bartholin glands. Now skin glands, when these are stimulated, they secrete urinary vaginal secretions, as well as Bartholin gland secretions also, they lubricate the vaginal region. Now here in this total region, the three components are comparable to the male system. Here the clitoris in the female, it is made by the corpora cavernosa erectile tissue. So in males, penis also made by the same kind of the tissue. In that way, here the clitoris is comparable to penis. So by structure, by origin only, it is comparable to the penis, not by function. Now this structural comparison, this is called as a homologous. So clitoris of the female is homologous to penis. In the same way, here the skin glands are homologous to the prostate glands of males. These Bartholin glands are homologous to Cowper's glands of males. Now these Bartholin glands are of greater vestibular glands. These are very large, whereas skin glands are of lesser vestibular glands. Okay, this is regarding a female reproductive system. Now here in this concept we have discussed about various parts of female reproductive organs, female reproductive system, their functions. Next, external genitalia. Whereas mammary glands also functionally linked with female reproductive tract. In female reproductive system, here the mammary glands also functionally associated with female reproductive tract. Mammary glands are nothing but modified sweat glands. Our skin has two kinds of glands, sweat glands and sebaceous glands. At the thoracic region, the sweat glands are modified into mammary glands. These are present both in males and females, but in males those are non-functional, functional only in case of females. In females, these are called as breasts, these are functional glands. Why these are functional only in the females? Because of female sexual hormones estrogen. Because of estrogen and progesterone, mammary glands are functional only in females. Now each mammary gland or each breast is internally having a 15 to 20 milk producing lobes known as mammary lobes. Along with that fat. Here the size of the breast or size of the mammary glands is not depend upon the number of lobes. Why? Because number of lobes are of almost same. Whereas by the amount of fat, the size of the mammary glands varies. This is about mammary glands in females. These mammary glands, each mammary gland is internally having 15 to 20 mammary lobes. These lobe-like structures, they consist of alveoli. These are sac-like regions. These alveoli are internally lined by epithelium. Those epithelial cells or those alveolar cells, they produce milk. For milk production, here they requires hormones, prolactin hormone of pituitary gland. Now this produced milk, it travels. Now all these each alveolus is connected with a duct, mammary tubule. All the mammary tubules of one lobe together form a mammary duct. Several mammary ducts opens into a mammary ampulla. Now many mammary ampullae opens together and form a lactiferous duct. Now around these lobes, here the fat material is present. The size of the mammary glands is depend upon the amount of fat that is stored here. Now in this, we need to concentrate over the direction of the milk flow. Milk flow direction is from alveoli to mammary tubules to mammary duct, mammary ducts to ampulla to lactiferous ducts. Several lactiferous ducts opens at the tip of the nipple. By several openings here the milk will be produced. When the woman after the delivery of the baby, in the woman the milk production as well as the ejection of the milk will be happened. When the baby sucks the milk here by this nipple at several regions this milk will be produced. Okay, this is about the female reproductive system. Thank you.